Hey, it's Holden here, Run Pure Sports. Check us out at runpuresports.com. I'm also on the bet side, runpurebets.com. Here with a little wide receiver early look as we head into week 3 already. I'm telling you, we're going to look up in 4 weeks and be like, I can't believe it's week 7. That's what happens when you add 3 to 4. Anyways, check out my other videos too. I got the quarterbacks, the running backs later in the week, tight ends coming out. Give me a like right now before you forget. Just hit the like button. Subscribe to the Run Pure Sports side. So let's do this. Top shelf this week. I mean, you got a couple guys. DeAndre Hopkins, most expensive player on the board at 7.9 on DK going up against Detroit. He's also 8.5 on FanDuel. So, I mean, they're pushing him up there. Although Ridley's price is climbing too. But let's get into Hopkins here. 14 catches in week 1. 8 catches off 9 targets in week 2. He scored a touchdown. He's only got 1 red zone target, but who cares? If you've been listening to me, you know that there's not too many people higher on the Cardinals offense than I am. Hopkins definitely in play, especially with what it's looking to shape up like at running back, where there's some value or you can go mid-tier a little bit. DeAndre is definitely in play. But here's the 2 I'm really interested in talking about. So the Falcons are taking on Chicago this week. And Julio is 7.4 on DK, and Ridley is $200 less. And then you look on FanDuel, though, Jones is 7.8, and Ridley is 8K. So we have hit the point where Calvin Ridley is now more expensive than Julio Jones, and it wouldn't surprise me if it stayed this way forever. We're not there yet on DraftKings, but we're close. So Julio has the hammy. People say, oh, why didn't Julio have a big day? I think the hamstring limited him, and he dropped a bomb right at the goal line that you never see him drop a touchdown pass. I want to say it was from 42, whatever it was a long TD pass that was dropped. Let's compare these 2 guys, though. So you've got, and listen, Julio was targeted a lot week 1, but now we've got 16 catches on 22 targets for Ridley. He's slowly becoming the number 1 option, actually rapidly becoming. Air yards. Here is where Julio Jones has the big advantage. 451 to 252 for Ridley. So they're not going deep as much to Ridley. They're doing that more with Julio, but the volume's there for Ridley. The talent is there. And then the ADOT, the average depth of target, 16 yards for Julio. Again, they're looking for him deep. 7.4 for Ridley, who leads all receivers with 4 touchdowns. So I'm fine with Ridley. Jones, let's find out what's going on with his hamstring. But I think at this point, Ridley's the better play. He's just the guy that has looked better through the first 2 games. Stephon Diggs. Do I play Stephon Diggs this week? 7,000 on DraftKings, 6.9 on FanDuel. Problem is he's going up against the Rams secondary. That's really good. But he has 16 catches on 22 targets and a touchdown. Josh Allen absolutely loves this guy. Now, I like John Brown, too, for GPPs, and I think Diggs is a great tournament play this week. Going up against the Rams, though, it's a tough one. Maybe Jalen Ramsey all over him. Rams have allowed just 1 passing touchdown so far. But if you're just looking at talent, Stephon Diggs is right up there, right up at the top. And that's a reason why he's the 4th highest priced wide receiver on the board. Then we move to Adam Thielen. I feel like everybody is just forgetting about Adam Thielen. Maybe it's just me forgetting about Adam Thielen, but I'm not. He's 7.2 on FanDuel. He's 6.9 on DraftKings. And he's 4th in air yards. He's 5th in target percentage at 32%. Tennessee has a really banged up secondary. They have linebacker issues too. And I get it. The Vikings offense is a utter debacle. I think Mike Zimmer, he'd either called it a debacle or something very close to that. They are a mess, man. But the Tennessee secondary, they've got 2 rookies. And they're starting a 7th rounder. So I think the volume's going to be there again for Thielen. I think he's fine in cash. Is there a better option around the price range? I think if I'm paying up, it's going to be Ridley. That's my guy right now because there's a lot of value in the slate at these 2 positions, running back and wide receiver. And really tight end, there's just value everywhere. We don't have the Chiefs pass catchers. We don't have the Ravens pass catchers or tight end. They're not on the slate. We don't have, well, Michael Thomas isn't in here anyways, but we don't have any receivers from the Saints or the Packers, no Devontae Adams. So that's just where we are right now. Mike Evans, I don't have an opinion yet because I don't know about the Godwin injury. So I'll be doing so many shows. I'm sure you'll get my opinion at some point in time, but that's just up in the air right now. I'm not feeling great about it. At Denver, I mean, listen, he was the man last week. 10 targets, 7 receptions, 104 yards, and a touchdown. If Godwin's out, though, he's obviously going to be a monster play in the pool and probably cash viable. Juju and Deontay Johnson, which one do you want? Do you want the guy that costs more with 14 targets or the guy that costs less with 23 targets over his first 2 games? Oh, you want to go with the guy that costs more with less production? By all means, go ahead and do that, but that'd be stupid. 5.4 on DraftKings. What is DraftKings doing? Did they not see Deontay Johnson? Did they not see the connection between Ben Roethlisberger and Deontay Johnson, who, by the way, 5.4 DraftKings, 6.3 FanDuel. He is in play on both sides. I love him in cash. Love him in cash, especially on DraftKings, man. 5.4, you kidding me? Lockett and Metcalf. Let's talk about this Seattle passing game. Going up against Dallas, highest total out there, 55. Both sides get a great matchup. Both receivers here get a great matchup. Metcalf's going to be more touchdown dependent. I'm fine with him in cash. I'm fine with Lockett in cash too. I think both of these guys, if you said which one's safer, I would lean slightly toward Lockett, but I think it's going to come down to what kind of cash you got. Metcalf 6'5" on both sides. Lockett is 6'4" on DraftKings, 6'8" on FanDuel. I mean, again, just if we're going to go and nitpick which one we want, I suppose FanDuel is going to be Metcalf. First of all, he's cheaper. Second of all, better chance of a touchdown. DK, I'm going with Lockett. So that's my thoughts on those two guys. Lockett, 15 catches on 16 targets. DK Metcalf, 14 targets, just 8 catches, but he's got 2 touchdowns. He's got a touchdown in both games. Did you like how I say touchdown? Touchdowns. Allen Robinson, 5th in air yards. God, can Trubisky just realize what he's got here in Allen Robinson, which is just an elite talent? I really do wish they'd trade this guy. He's just so talented. He's so good. 6'2" on DraftKings, 6'9" on FanDuel. He's been very disappointing to this point. Only 26% of the targets. That's 12th in the NFL. With that receiving core, he should be getting more work. Unfortunately, just 12.3 and 6.3 points. He's going to be in my GPP pool this week, and those were DK points. But in GPP, I can't trust him in cash because I just don't know. No matter how good this matchup is, I just don't know if Trubisky's going to get to him going up against Atlanta. But he will definitely be pretty heavily owned by me in GPPs. The Rams wide receivers, I'm going to just completely go back to this every single week. Why are you starting Cooper Kupp over Robert Woods in cash? I don't get it. I still don't understand it. Woods is more productive and he's consistently cheaper. Okay, let's see here. Woods is 6.1 on DK, and then Kupp is 6.3. Kupp is 7.1 on FanDuel. Woods is 6.6. That's a pretty big price disparity. All right, let's go here. Air yards, Woods 96, Kupp 64. Target percentage, Woods 26.5, Kupp 19.1. What the hell are you doing? Starting Cooper Kupp over? How many weeks do we have to see this? Going back to like last year, how many times do we have to see it that Robert Woods is the better player? I'm so happy that these sites don't realize that he's the better player and that he's a better fantasy player. That's it. Robert Woods, you want to start him? Start him. I got no problem with it. I don't know why you're putting Kupp in your cash lineups. Buffalo, listen, they've given up some yards. Love the Robert Woods, definitely in the cash pool. Terry McLaurin, I'm just going to throw his name out. He's always in the cash pool. It's Cleveland they got this week. He should be fine. CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper. CeeDee Lamb in my cash game lineup last week. CeeDee Lamb in my cash game lineup this week. Okay. Seahawks allowed the most yards, TDs, receptions, just everything to wide receivers through 2 games. He's in the slot. The Seahawks have just gotten burned by the slot. I mean, and when I said yards, targets, receptions, that was the slot receivers. CeeDee Lamb's in the slot. And he tied with Amari Cooper last week with 9 targets. Why bother paying up for Amari Cooper when I can get CeeDee Lamb a lot cheaper? I think a lot of people are going to have that decision. Cooper 6'5" on DraftKings. Lamb is 5'4". And then on FanDuel, Cooper is 7 and Lamb is 5.6. I don't understand it. By all means, go ahead and play Amari Cooper in cash if you want to. I'm going CD Lamb, saving the money there. A couple other guys throw out. Robbie Anderson, 5.2K on DK is way too cheap still. GPP pool, John Brown is going to be in there. Russell Gage outsnapped Julio in week 2. So if Julio's hamstring, if he's still on the injury report, I think Gage is in play. He's got more targets, receiving yards, targets, touchdowns, receptions, everything. Gage has been good. And then the two guys in Denver, if you want to take a GPP stab here, Jerry Jeudy and KJ Hamler. Hamler actually led the Broncos in routes run and targets. He had 7. So keep KJ Hamler on the list this week. All right, that is my wide receiver video. If you haven't checked out the quarterbacks and running backs, please do so. And I'll have the tight ends later in the week. Hit the like button, subscribe to Run Pure Sports. I'm Holden, and I'll catch you later.